Hi everyone, welcome to the Buffett and Beyond Research Saturday ETF report, and we're going over the top stocks, and are they taking a rest or what? Well, most of them are right under new highs. January 25th, 2025, and remember folks, if you want to live on the beach like Jimmy Buffett once did, you've got to invest even better than Warren Buffett does now. And let's go into our sector stars. Now remember, this is a portfolio where we take the ETFs that have outperformed the S&P 500 over the past 5 years, and we take the best stocks from those ETFs. And let's see what's happening. Well, the QQQs, now this is the NASDAQ 100, up 4% this year already. Boy, we're rocking and rolling right now. And the S&P up 4.1%. Now, our top stocks are up 6.5%. And last year, 2024, we just came off another great year, up 36.4%. Now we have four different stocks in this portfolio for this year, and we're doing very, very well. 6.5% versus the S&P of 4.1%. Doing well considering we're only 3 weeks into the new year. And the NASDAQ 100, this is our tech portfolio, pretty much tech portfolio, and these are the best stocks out of the NASDAQ 100, and it is up 6.3% this year. And last year, it was our leading portfolio, up 47.2%. In 2003, as we came out of the recession, up 97.9%. Over 5 years, this portfolio has been up 422% versus the S&P of 82%. So you can see that this is a good portfolio, and because it is more volatile than the S&P 500 itself, we do have a way of hedging this portfolio, so you want to read all about it in our newsletters. And let's look at the QQQs, and we can see that as we're coming off this not new high, but getting very, very close to it up here, we're above the 20-day moving average, above the 50-day moving average, and above the 200-day moving average, and we have a buy signal on our intermediate term indicator. Short term, it looks like it wants to top out a little bit here. So Monday and Tuesday will be important days to see if this market tries to make a new high in here and whether it is successful or it wants to take a rest in here. So we'll see what happens this coming week, well, in a couple of days. And let's look at the transportation. Transportation is definitely giving us a short-term sell signal, but down here our intermediate term indicator is still pointing up, and we're on a nice little rally in here, so we like that, but far from its latest new highs back in this area. Now the S&P 500, yep, it looks like this is the stochastic indicator, so it's a different one than the one we've been showing you. S&P reached a new high in here this past week, and right now on Friday it tested that area, and we have to wait for Monday and Tuesday to see if it holds. But it looks like it wants to top out a little bit in here and maybe give a short-term sell signal. So that's what we're looking at on all of these, is a short-term sell, but we still have this intermediate term indicator down here pointing up. Now let's look at the technology. We're seeing the same type of thing. We're getting overbought right now, and we will look at this new high in here. Wow, isn't this great or what? And we'll see. It came back off it. So on Thursday is when the new highs were reached on many indices and on individual stocks, and now they bounced off it. So we're pretty sure we're going to make another try for that new high, and then we'll see if it holds. In the semiconductor ETF, the exact same thing, little sell signal up here, and we'll see what happens as the week goes on. Now I want to include the utilities. What have they been doing? A lot of nothing, because just toward the end of this past week, the interest rates began going up a little bit. And we want to show you the energy. Now, energy, we talked about oil, and we put it in our letter, that oil is going to go down because we hear drill, baby, drill. That means we, as a country, want to increase the supply of oil out there that's under our feet so that well, I don't want to say leading indicator of inflation, but boy, it sure helps inflation if prices of energy go up. And if prices of energy go down, it affects everything that's made from oil. Don't forget, we have all sorts of natural gas available to us. And the more that we search for oil, the more gas we're going to get. Clean energy, we like that. But because the energy sector is coming down, that is going to be good for inflation. So even though we see a sell-off in the energy, which includes a lot of oil, don't forget, so even though we see this coming down, it doesn't mean it's going to bring the whole market down. It means eventually it's going to bring the market up. Because as inflation goes down, then interest rates can be lowered, and we're hearing the clamoring from our new president already about lowering interest rates, and that will increase the availability of housing. First-time buyers can afford a mortgage, so energy coming down affects interest rates, which will come down, and that affects housing, which will go up, and the entire economy, which will go up. So this is a good sign in here, unless you're long energy, and of course you shouldn't be, because here's the president and the new administration out there saying we're going to have more oil. And so we expect this to go down, but that is good for the overall economy. So, folks, we had a week this week that was absolutely crazy on the political front with all sorts of rhetoric going back. We had the meeting in Davos, Switzerland, of all the brains in the world that are getting together, non-political, and Trump gave a speech which was about 45 minutes long, or so the news says, and it was over video or over a Zoom meeting because he is now out in California looking at what the damage that those wildfires did out there. So it's been a tumultuous week. It's been an exciting week. And don't forget, our top portfolio is up over 6% already. It's starting out the year very, very well. So, folks, we've had the best 4 days since a new president has been elected, even for the second term, since Reagan's second term. So we had the best stock market action. So the economy is looking at a growth situation or growth environment over the next 4 years. So, folks, hang on to your hats, and we'll be right back to see you in a couple of days.